morning. Today is Monday and we are about to head to work. My mom actually went and cleaned for me because I was up on my bathroom floor all night, very sick. I have taken these BLT and crypto herbs and I'm literally taking as little as 6 drops once a day, so 12 total, and it is killing me. I used to take these, but I've never taken them together, and I don't know if it's that less ozone or what it is, but I've been nauseous. I've been able to handle it okay. It's not been fun. Last night, here we go. Got a new key fob too, by the way. And I was gonna throw up, and thankfully I got a Zofran in me, but I also start violently shaking really bad when I get that sick, and my body's just like rejecting whatever is going on. And so I felt like I was gonna pass out. I did a bunch of stuff to help relieve it, but I was on and off the bathroom floor all night, so it was awful. I'm shaky. My mom cleaned my studio for me and let me rest, which was amazing, even though I'm not sleeping. Just not moving as much and using a heavy vacuum is very helpful. Hard. I've not even been vlogging since my ozone. Ozone went really well. It was a little overwhelming when I saw the price of everything, but I'm just giving that over to God and gonna try to keep getting them. It's been a week and a half since I got it, and I'm probably gonna be getting it weekly, at least trying to handle that. The maximum I'm supposed to get is twice a week, but right now we're just gonna try to shoot for weekly. Didn't go to work last Wednesday since I had my ozone on Tuesday. And it wasn't that bad the first day, it was more just very high fatigue. But then I got really sharp pains in my trouble areas. Very sharp and like really hard pressure, like my legs felt like a balloon that wanted to pop, just lots of stuff. So definitely herxing, which you know is good, but it's just a lot to handle. And then this nausea is way too much. So I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday, not really for an appointment, just to get my peptide injections and to fill out some paperwork. So I don't know if my doctor will be there or if it's just the hoping. I plan on just saying like, yeah, I've been really nauseous. I'm supposed to get up to 20 drops of each. The maximum I'm handling is 6, and even then I'm only doing it once a day, not twice a day. I know it's okay, it's just hard because I want to get as much as I need in. But my body is clearly like, nope, too much. I have a dentist appointment, which I was thinking about canceling, but I just want to get it over with. I'm not as nauseous now. I'm weak and everything, but let's just get it over with. So yeah, that's what's been going on. I know I just kind of blurted all that out, but I'm trying to tell you as much as I can before I start work. But it's just been a lot, and I've been very sick, and treatment's been harsh. Last night was total remnants of when I used to be on antibiotic treatment. And honestly, I can't handle that every night. So I'm hoping that goes away. Alright, so I made it to work. Just sitting a second before I have to go up those steps. Let's have a little bit of time anyway. But it's hard not getting any sleep and everything. I put my Lyme Warrior shirt on. I'd really like to get another Lyme Warrior shirt. This one's pretty worn, but I haven't worn it in a while, and I'm just wearing it to remind myself how strong I am and that I can do this. You know, my kids will never know what I'm going through, and I'm glad. But it's like you would never know by looking at me right now that I was up all night sick and very sick, and I've been sick for past week. I mean, I've been sick for years, but you know what I mean. Yeah, just, how are you guys? I'm very slow and stiff, so it should be interesting this morning. Look at my mom being my saving grace this morning. Home from work went well. I was able to have the kids take turns being leaders and stuff like that, so I didn't have to do quite as much the whole time. But I'm definitely still recovering. Kyle's like, I was like half asleep all night, but I was really concerned about you. And he's like, I'm running around trying to find your Zofran. That was not good. I'm like, yeah. I'm laying down. Got changed. Kyle's showering right now, and then we'll start being ready. But I took my first herbs, okay, because I'm taking both. Before, my other doctor just had me taking one BLT for like a week, and then crypto for like a week. But this doctor's having me do both, and I think that's what's causing, come on. I think that's what's causing all the issues, because I was okay for the first one. Oh, my stomach. And then the second I took the second ones, I feel like I'm dying. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do my celery juice first today or not. Might just have to get some strawberries or something light. Gonna fill you guys in on poor little birdie boy here, who doesn't want to be filmed right now. Actually, he just wants to look out the window. He loves looking out the window. But I'm gonna have Kyle come in here in a second, and he's gonna help me tell you guys. He's gonna help me tell you guys this story. So I was in the sauna detoxing, and I was feeling really sick, and I was like, I need to get out because I need a shower, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I get ready to go take a shower, and I come out and I see my mom and Kyle in our front area, and there's bloody paw prints everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Like blood all over the carpet, blood all the way throughout here. Later when I was helping clean up, he went like this, and there was blood splatter all over the walls. It looked like a crime scene, didn't it, Luna? You playing? So it looks like a crime scene, and we couldn't really figure out what was wrong with him. But we just knew from the bottom of his paw, he's bleeding profusely. More blood than I've ever seen in my life. And if he would just stand, it would just pool, like really pool. So I'm like, what happened? And my mom said he jumped on the plant stand, knocked it over. But we were like, how did he get hurt? Because that Kyle's gonna join me for the story, because there's a lot to it. So basically, what was I saying? So he knocked over a plant stand, and plants went everywhere, and he went flying. And then you came out and heard. Did you hear it, or did Mom come get you?
No, I didn't hear it. Your mom just said, can you come help me with Bert? And I came out, and his foot was all covered in blood, and there was blood all over the walls and the floor and everything. And he wasn't hurting so much. It was just that he didn't like that his foot was wet. So he was kind of running around, freaking out a little bit, especially because we were kind of trying to catch him just so he would stop.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard this, because I got out of the sauna and we did that. I didn't know that.
So we just kind of, finally we got him to calm down enough that we could kind of get him in one spot, but he still was flinging blood everywhere. And that's when the blood was just pooling. Yeah. When he would stand in one spot, it was literally pooling. So Kyle went to go get ready really fast. I grabbed some hydrogen peroxide. My mom actually, they tried to like pick him up and stuff, and he wouldn't let them, but he had calmed down a little bit at that point. So Mom picked him up, and he's like holding on to her, like trying to hug her, like help me. And I just kept squirting. I squirted like 5 or 6 times into his paw, and it would just bubble and more blood. And it was like, oh dear. It was Labor Day weekend, or it was Labor Day, so like vets are closed, but realistically he needed the emergency anyway. So we went to emergency hospital, which is kind of hard for us to go to because that's where Rue went and he died. We get there and they let us rush in because his crate was covered in blood, like the whole bottom part. And so like he's acting fine, but we're scared about the blood loss, you know, and we want him to be okay, and they were concerned about the blood loss. So then we get in there. Long story short, they're like, yeah, it's bleeding so bad I can't really see, so we need to put him under so we can see what's going on. So they shaved that part you guys have seen, and had his IV and everything, and then he went to sleep, and they did surgery, and they thought it was gonna be like his paw was like obliterated, right? Well,
like,
I don't think they knew, but they just thought there was a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So
and even the vet,
it might be worse than it was.
Yeah, and even the vet tech was like, I'd never seen so much blood like that of people coming in, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, they thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was, so thankfully it wasn't. But he still had to get a stitch. And long story short, she said it's like a perfect puncture. We were trying so hard to figure out how he could have gotten a puncture because the stand was covered in plastic. And then you want to just say quickly what it is?
Well, we think.
We think.
Yeah, he has, on some of his other paws, he has a little nail growth that's underneath the claw, just above the pad.
Yeah, so like normal claws here, the growth is down here.
And if you look it up, it's something that some cats have called like horned paw.
And he clicks when he walks, so Kyle already knew that he had that.
Well, we didn't know what it was. We thought it was his nail, but it turns out it was that. And so our guess is because the puncture is right where that little piece of nail is on some of his other toes, he might have, and it's a pretty long piece, it might have gotten caught and actually ripped off on that particular toe.
Versus something cutting.
Right, and that would kind of explain why there was just one small hole there, but there was so much blood.
And why she was like, I thought maybe blood vessel, like she wasn't sure what was nicked. And so he did well with the surgery, which was scary, but that's when, I mean, like, we were so relieved. We felt really bad for Bert because he was coming out of it. You know, we took him home. Second we got home, it turned into a total nightmare, like pure torture for everybody involved. He basically started having a cat fight with himself and was screaming top of his little cat lungs. For him, it was just awful because he was just screaming and... It's okay, buddy. Buddy, it's okay. It's okay. You're okay. I know. It's not fun. I know. I know. Oh, buddy. It's okay. Bert! Bert! And trying to attack he had a big cast and he had a cone. But he wouldn't keep the cone on at all. And it was scaring Luna. I was very ill, so that noise was terrifying.
Yeah.
How many times did you go to the vet?
Well, we went to the vet 3 times that day because he kept taking the cone off and they said to put the cone back on, and there was no way that we could get it back on because he was so angry. So we took him back and they put the cone back on and did a couple things to try to make it stay on better, and that time he managed to just disassemble the cone, so then it was just
still had it wrapped all around him. Yeah, it was still
like strapped to him. So we took him back again, and finally they gave him another cone on top of the first cone, and they gave him like sedation medication, and that really only worked for like an hour after he took it, because even then, after he woke up enough to realize the cone was on, he got it off again somehow.
So Kyle's like, this cone is, we will literally be living at this vet, and it's 30 minutes away. So he was go, go, go. By the last time that they went, it was the evening. I was sick. I had a huge week of work. And we're like, you know what? Why don't you go stay at my parents' house? And normally the cats don't go to my parents' house at all because we have a family member that's allergic. But, you know, desperate times, and we knew he'd be confined. So Kyle ended up staying at my parents' house all week because Bert didn't know it there and he wasn't familiar, and you know, Luna wasn't here, and when he was home he just started freaking out even more, which you stayed up with him every night, pretty much all night up until this past Wednesday. But
well, just because he wouldn't keep the cone on, and so we had to make sure he didn't eat the bandage.
His leg too, especially how hard he was biting it the first night. You could see the teeth marks. Poor Luna was terrified. I slept with her. I was sick, so I just kept going to work doing this while Kyle, he stayed home from work that week, took care of Bert. 3 days later he had a bandage change, and then the next morning he got the bandage off. We went to a local vet for that one.
Well, he didn't get the bandage off. He didn't like how tight it was the first time.
I forgot about that. And that was still at my parents' house.
And so then he was kind of frustrated, and he would kind of hiss and growl, and it was clearly because, you know, the bandage was bothering him. So we ended up loosening that a little bit and then taking him back to the vet, and they put less of a bandage on, and that's the one that he got off.
Then that night you came home, that Friday night, you came home, and then Bert handled it pretty well. Luna was still terrified.
Saturday morning he got it off. So then we took him back to the vet, and that time they recommended like a little sock with a drawstring that we put on there,
which ended up being great
because
for the next 3 days.
Yeah, he'd keep it on pretty good, but eventually he'd get it off. So.
I'd have to like hold him, and Kyle would put it on, and we'd have the spray, so that worked out really well. But it was exhausting. But last day, that Wednesday, he had his stitch out on Thursday, right? And the Wednesday, so he was home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was helping take care of him in between, but Kyle would sleep in the guest room with him every night. And sleep is a loose term. Kyle was up all night. So, he got it. Wednesday I went to have ozone and Bert was done.
Yeah, he didn't want it on anymore.
He was done. And poor Kyle's trying to get it on by himself and Bert's just scratching and biting and it was just not working. God gave us strength and we handled the stress really well, I think, considering what we dealt with. But bodies, it still catches up to your body. But we were just so happy he was okay. But this part was just so exhausting and hard. But yeah, so we had one final evening. We just left it off. Got the stitch out okay and everything's been normal since. And Luna's friends with him again and all is well. And we're just like, please don't ever do anything like that again. It was awful. It was terrifying because of what happened to our cat Rue. And Jasmine died just last year because of her. She had a heart thing, but she was older. She was 9. I just wanted to tell you guys the story because I had clips here and there, but thanks for helping me tell the story. That could have been like an hour, 2-hour long story. We gave you the condensed version, but I think we got the most of it. But it was a lot, and we're so glad. We're so glad he's okay.
We are going.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Just wanted to kind of tell you guys what actually happened and went on, since I did have some clips and pictures I can kind of show you. But yeah, so that's what happened that Monday with poor Bert. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to donate towards treatment, you can click my GoFundMe down below. You can also share that, which would be greatly appreciated. And I'm feeling really sick from holding this, sorry. Have you guys ever had any pet scares? It's hard. It's very hard. So thank you guys so much for watching. So happy to have healthy cats again, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.